Welcome back to the new episode of the Shift Points podcast with the Sega Group, the Southeast Gassers Association. This is the podcast where we do a quick race recap on the previous Southeast Gasser event. We're a little late. I know that some people were asking about it. We're about 3 weeks late. I just got done telling Randy right before we got started that I've had probably the busiest work schedule I've had in a while for the past 3 weeks, and it's just kind of... tends to get in the way of the fun stuff sometimes.
Exactly.
Anyway, so that's why we're late. But they were down in Gulfport, Mississippi, at the last event down there. And how'd it go? I haven't even got to talk to you about it at all.
Gulfport Dragway, Gulfport, Mississippi. One of the big things that was going on there is cruising the coast. Mm-hmm. Cruising the coast is the last count I had was around 10,000 registered cars.
Wow. I didn't realize it was that big.
Mm-hmm. And there's probably a whole lot more that don't register.
Okay.
So
like, what do you? I mean, I know you know about it more than I do. Like, what all is cruising the coast? Like, what all do they do?
Probably I didn't get down there right in the middle of it or anything. I just rode through one day. I think it's more like maybe the rod run that we would be familiar with.
Okay, understood.
But it's just people lined up on the side of the street, got canopies set up, and sitting back watching all the cars go by. Every parking lot's full. And
that's in Gulfport that happens?
It's Gulfport, Biloxi.
Okay.
Ocean View, I think it is.
Okay.
Another little town up there.
Okay.
Tara and I were blessed enough that Rocky Platt came up and let us have the keys to his truck on Thursday, and we took off, and we rode 18 miles up the coast, and it was just wall-to-wall cars. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, everything in the world. I told your dad, that I believe I saw more 55 Chevys than they made.
It's funny how that works nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they were just everywhere, Tri-5 cars, but I mean, there was everything.
Yeah.
Everything, and then didn't see too much unruly stuff.
Right.
I did see a guy in a Fox Body Mustang with a turbo hanging out of it get on it one time, but that's the only thing that I saw,
So it's all pretty kind of classic resto mod kind of stuff, restoration style stuff.
Yeah, but he was the only one out there I saw acting a fool.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Where somebody could have got hurt.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a really good deal. Friday night and Saturday, the parking lot at the drag strip was like a car show.
Really?
Yeah,
that's cool.
And it was just, they just kept coming in.
Right.
I mean, we were running the finals, and they were still lined up coming in the gate.
Really?
Yeah, we had our second largest crowd ever, I think it was. Right around those numbers.
Right.
And this is our first time there. Already.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, this is our first time there. There was some commitment about going back again next year.
Okay.
To at the same time during cruising the coast.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. What about? I want to thank Vicari Auction for sponsoring it. They were the major sponsor there.
Nice.
Moser Engineering had a meet and greet on Friday night.
Okay.
Fed us all.
Oh, really? That's great.
And then they also sponsored a consolation race on Saturday. So
cool.
Thanks to all the sponsors.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is for you and Mike. That's from Southeast Gassers Gear, Stephen Smith and Holly.
That's awesome.
For all your Southeast Gassers Gear, go online, check them out. Southeast Gassers Gear.
And they've got good quality stuff too.
They do.
Good T-shirts and good hats and different stuff like that. So man, that's great. I've got to get a frame like this to put the one you brought to us last time up too. Yeah. So we'll start getting those put up.
It's autographed by Ricky Jones and Larry Cummins, Godfather.
Yep. I love that stud muffin car. It's just a neat car. It's fun to watch him run that thing.
Yeah, it's just amazing what that little engine turns.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
I mean, it's just. I catch myself still up there on the line going like this sometimes.
Just waiting for something to come out. No, that's good. Thank you very much. No, like I said, these posters are great. And if I remember right, I saw on social media, I think down at the next race at Shadyside, they're going to do like a special deal for all the, like a set of all the posters for this past season. For like a deal, I think I saw him put up. So that will be really cool.
Yeah, he does that every year. I guess he buys enough or has enough printed up that he doesn't sell all of them,
Right.
and then he'll put packages together. But Stephen does all those too.
He does the design and everything.
He designs them himself.
They're
does
just perfect. Like they fit the Southeast Gassers great.
They're period correct.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
They look really good. He does a great job with them.
It's cool. Thank you.
And then Gulfport Dragway, thank them. They had just an absolutely amazing track crew.
Yeah.
They never stopped all day.
Really?
They had a blower, the small engine powered blower, running up and down both sides all day long. And it's just Britt Cummins, which is Larry Cummins' son.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the owners there. Galen Ralston and Tommy Castanado. I hope I didn't mess that name up too bad, but they were just great. They're all racers.
Okay.
They're all racers. Everybody that was up there on the line, got a drag racing background.
That's amazing, the difference when you get somebody that really is racers and enjoy it, and it's amazing what a difference they can make to a place.
Yeah, it was really a good deal there. There's some bumps and some holes in the track down there. So if anybody saw any of the A-Gas videos out there, they went for some rides. They did. There was
some close calls on a few of those videos I saw.
It was an amazing driving went on down there on some of them's part, or maybe just pulling it out. I don't know. So, but it was it got a little hairy on some of them there. A record was set in Superstock C and B gas.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And but not A. I guess it just seemed that the track showed up a little more with the high horsepower cars and the lighter cars.
Right.
So
makes sense.
But I feel like the track will be better when we go back on that we go back next year and stuff. But,
that first one's always tough. You kind of got to figure out where everything stands. So.
It's an amazing facility. I think it got like 168 acres or something.
Whoa,
Wow. I mean, they got
That's
the track.
awesome.
The track's like almost a mile long or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Good shutdown area there.
But it just keeps going down through there. It was a good deal there. We had Moser Engineering sponsored a consolation race on Saturday. We did it a little different this time because we had a lower number of cars because it was so far away.
Yeah.
So instead of doing a hat draw on 2 cars in each class, we just put everybody that went out in the first round back in for the consolation race.
Okay, gotcha.
So it got a little hectic a time or two. Angela does an amazing job in the tower. She had some computer issues, but she pulled through it. She's an amazing lady.
Yeah.
But
that sounds hectic. just controlling all that.
She was basically having to run a race within a race.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Yeah.
And but it all worked out.
Good.
And it came out pretty good. We had like I say, Moser Engineering sponsored that also. We had Superstock, Kenny Phillips, and Street Legal. C-Gas was Ben Helms and Poker Time. B-Gas, Sean McLemore and Fortunate Son. And A-Gas was Kenneth Phillips and Silver Streak 2.
Okay.
So that's twice now that Kenneth's got put out the first round, got put in the consolation race.
Yeah.
Which is not normal.
Not right.
But it's a really good thing. We're still looking for sponsorship for Shadyside.
Okay.
We're looking for a sponsor for that at Shadyside. I thought we'd already have it tied up, but we don't. I feel like we'll probably get something going on it. If not, we'll just do the consolation race with no payout.
Okay, gotcha.
But it's still a good thing,
right? For sure. I just when we were down in Knoxville, the amount of racing that you see at one of these events is incredible. Because like when you guys open the lanes and you start, it's constant. There's something on the track at all points. Seems like but between the qualifying runs and all the classes. And it just flows. It's amazing how many passes you can see.
Well, and that's what we're out to do.
Yeah.
We don't want dead time on the track,
right?
And we work hard to keep from it. That's one reason we came up with this consolation deal.
Mm-hmm.
That fills some of that time. As you know, when you get into later rounds, you've got to let the cars have time to cool.
Right. Of course.
So we've got this, and we've been doing the Sega Long Haul, and O'Reilly's have been sponsoring it. They give a bucket of cleaning stuff and everything for that, and it's for the fan that drove the feathers.
Right.
So, and it's a good deal too, and that takes a little time,
right.
and stuff, just kind of fills in some of that. But we like something going on the track. We don't like, I've been to a lot of drag races and stuff to where, and I've actually got up and left before.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing going on.
Nothing going on, yeah.
And
that's what you come to see is racing.
Yeah,
so, if there ain't nothing going on, that makes it hard.
Yeah. But going into super stock, Ron Allison, Poppy's Toy, he's our 21 champion in super stock. This is his first win in 23. He struggled all year long with hooking the car up, just different things, and but he come through on this one, and he's 79 years old.
Really?
79 years old.
That's awesome.
And his background in racing is legend cars and jet skis.
And jet skis.
Jet skis.
What a diverse background that is in motorsports.
And but he's enjoying it. He really loves it. He's really involved in it. He's building a gasser.
Okay.
And he's also got an H-gas car on the way.
Okay, cool.
And but there, could be somebody else driving one or the other of those sometimes, But in C-Gas, we also had Jerry Dean out of Alabama. He lowered the record to 646 with a 3. And, that's on a 7-inch tire.
Yeah, I know.
With small block.
Yep.
And but Rick Varner tied up a championship.
Okay.
Tied up a championship this race. He's, he basically, he don't even have to show up at Shady Side, and he's got the championship.
Gotcha.
And he's back-to-back champ.
Oh, really?
We've never had that in Southeast Gassers.
Okay.
We've never had a back-to-back champ.
That's a history maker right there.
Yeah. This is the 5th year of Superstock with a back-to-back champ. This is the first time for a back-to-back champ, and then, we had it was one of the big things that was about Southeast Gassers. We've never had a back-to-back champ in any class.
Any class.
We've had people that
kind of speaks to the parity of the classes or of the racing there. Does. Usually in a lot of racing you'll see somebody just dominate for years or whatever. Yeah, that's very interesting.
Superstocks kind of fell off for a couple of races here, but in looking at the lineup for the next race, we're back up to 13, 14 cars.
Wow,
so
good.
it's big. There's cars out there. It's just, and everybody's looking at a lot of different things, but the economy and gas prices and things, and it cost me a lot of money in the motorhome to go to Mississippi.
It's a long way to Mississippi. Yeah. Well, how long of a drive was that from here?
Well, it cost
area?
for 9.5 hours,
Yeah.
I think, for me.
Yeah.
But we stopped a few times and stuff, and 11, 12 hours is about what we took.
Yeah, that's a healthy drive,
It is.
especially in a camper, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's our old motorhome rides pretty good. It doesn't, it's not that tiring.
Okay, that's good.
But some of them are. Some
Yeah.
of them are pretty rough on you. But going into C-Gas, Larry Cummins, this is his son that owns the track. He had a lot of family there.
Yeah.
And Jumpin' Jack Flash, a little Falcon, and it's got a small block Chevy in it. And it's built by Doug Hobgood in Wilson, North Carolina.
Okay, yeah.
But he's all the way in Louisiana. He lives 90 miles west of Gulfport.
Okay.
But Larry has got a heck of a drag racing resume.
Yeah.
He's 76, I think.
Okay.
And like back in '85, he was part of the Budweiser Super Team.
Oh, really?
The Budweiser Super Team, which was Kenny Bernstein and Frank Iaconia. There was several more in that. Larry ran Super Gas.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he ran Super Gas. Frank Iaconia run Super Pro Stock, and Bernstein Funny Car. So it was, and then before that, he was just a drag racer like your dad or like
Right.
my brother Bucky or whatever.
Yeah.
He was actually a bread man.
Really?
And
Okay.
got the call to go to and race with Kenny Bernstein in the Budweiser deal.
That's a pretty good
And
call.
Motorcraft is a sponsor.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Motorcraft and Budweiser were the sponsors, so it was a big deal back
Yeah.
in the mid '80s. '85 and '86 is when he did that.
Okay.
But he's got multiple division championships, divisional titles.
Mm-hmm.
Won 2 national events.
That's
And
awesome.
You know, and one of the things that just really amazed me that he was asking in Victory Lane, you know, where did this stack up? And he said number 1. He
Wow.
said this is the best I've ever done. He
That's-
said I've enjoyed this more than any win I've ever had.
I'll tell you that tells you a lot about the series right there.
It does.
Somebody with a resume like
It
that.
sure does. But
Yeah.
he's ran modified dragster, super gas, super stock, and stock in IHR and NHR.
Wow.
So he's got a resume. But Ricky Jones, the 2 cars that's on the
On here.
poster, was winner and runner-up.
Really? Okay.
Winner, runner-up.
Gotcha.
Ricky Jones was the first C car on the track in an event to go in 5s, but he didn't back it up.
Oh, really? Okay, so you do have to back up a record.
Yeah,
okay.
1%.
1%. Okay.
Yeah, you got to
gotcha.
back it up by 1%.
Okay.
And but he wasn't able to back it up, but he did go in 5s.
Okay.
And Tim Hall backed up he's backed up his championship from last year.
Mm-hmm.
He's another back-to-back champion.
Yep.
And this is in the gas class. You know, gas class has been going for 13 years
Right.
now. And so no one's ever backed it up anywhere, just like I was saying before about Varner. So Tim has backed it up in C gas. We got 2 backup
double back-to-backs for the
back-to-back,
first time.
Mm-hmm. And then you got Tim also retakes the record from Todd Oden
Oh,
in
really?
C gas. Yeah, 601 with the 3.
601
And I
with the-
think it was 601 with the 7.
Knocking on the 5s there.
Yeah, right at it. But Tim's a good champion for us. You know, he's school teacher, retired school teacher, retired out of the military also.
Okay.
And and then going into B gas, we got Daniel Haynes in the Patriot, the little Patriot Falcon. This is 3 in a row for him.
Oh, really?
3 in a row for him. Ohio, Knoxville, and now
Mississippi.
Gulfport, Mississippi. And it's pretty much a self-built car.
Yeah.
He started building that car in 15, and he and his brother work on it. Kim, that's his crew chief, and then his wife, Mary Beth.
Mm-hmm.
She's right there with him. You know, I'll see videos, and she's right in there helping them and stuff. you know.
Right.
So she's a big part of it. She's one of our backup girls.
Mhm.
You see her running everywhere.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And
I remember at Knoxville, I remember it seemed like every time I was doing a video in a pass, she was out there doing it, and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
gosh, she backs up a ton of them.
oh, she does.
Like,
she
she's gonna
does,
be
and
wore out.
I'm sure she is. You know, she works hard, but all the girls do.
Yeah,
all the
for
backup
sure.
girls, they're kind of in my opinion, the unsung heroes in
For
this
sure.
deal. I mean, they're out there on the asphalt and all that heat. You know, the drivers make a pass and they go back and
Yeah, exactly.
whatever. But you know, I mean, they actually have started putting up a little canopy over there for them and keep water and stuff
Yeah,
in there for
that's
them. You know,
good.
and stuff,
That is
you know.
good.
It's but the backup girls work really hard.
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
and they Daniel builds his own engines with,
Oh, really?
with the help and guidance of Dwayne Bush.
Okay.
Dwayne Bush is he's tough on the Windsor style Fords.
Okay, yeah.
He's on he does the engine in Youngblood car too.
Okay.
So you know that they're he's Daniel's top of the game in B gas and Josh Pruitt's top of the game in C gas.
Yeah.
So you know Dwayne's stuff runs good. You know, so it and then also as far as the Haynes family goes, Nick's been helping us out. He's been running ladder sheets for us. That's
okay.
that's their 14-year-old boy.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
he's getting paid a little bit for it and saving money to buy him a truck.
Okay.
And he's 14, and from what I understand, he's doing really good on saving his money.
Good. That's good to see that. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, he's a good kid, and then they got a daughter named Reba. She's right there all the time. But going also, Ted McKee tied up the championship.
Okay.
In Rocky Top Missile.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's out of Lenore City, and he also took the record.
Really?
At
Okay.
At 566.
566, man.
566, and it's a Fulton small block.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Fulton small block, and he pretty well had it tied up going into this. You know, I mean, there was really no way anyone could catch him.
Gotcha.
You know, and but he's ran good all year long. You know, I mean, he's been the car to beat at every track we've went to all
Right.
year. You know, so Ted's a good guy. Got a bunch of good guys with him. Jim Hare, Billy McKee. So, you know, they do a good job. All right, going into A-Gas, we got Ben Christopher, first win this year in the let me see. I've come to a blank here. The name of his car. Something Days, Happy Days or something.
Okay.
And sorry, Ben. But it's absolutely beautiful car.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of 67 Novas out there. It's just showpieces.
Yeah.
His being one of them, Dean Jonas being the other. And it's just a beautiful car.
Yeah.
Par racing engine, Scott Duggan engines in it. I can't remember what cubic inch he is. He was 477. I think he's 450 something now. But anyway, it's he's always right there. He's had a little trouble this year getting the car hooked up and making complete passes.
Mm-hmm.
But this was his fourth win. He's had 4 runners up, and he was a record holder, I think, from Knoxville last year. All the way to South Carolina Motorplex, Orangeburg, South Carolina this year.
Wow,
I think he held it there at a 524.
Okay.
And then Gabriel took it. It's 522 with a 7 now
Okay.
in A-Gas. But like I say, there wasn't no records set in A-Gas this weekend.
Yeah.
But Ben's got a background. You know, he's ran some quick rod, super rod, and hot rod, IHRA stuff there with Duggins and some of them boys.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, he's got a background in it. But his dad ran an Anglia back in the day.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he ran an Anglia back in the day. So he decided to build a car like his dad's.
That's cool.
And he drove it for quite some time, and it's actually the car that Quayne has now.
Okay.
Yeah, and but he just wanted to get into some heads-up first-to-finish line drag racing.
Right.
You know, but his dad was named Benny, and I mean, you know, a lot of these older guys that knew it back then, I'm sure they remember him.
Yeah. Right.
But and then we had Chase Howard was runner-up in that. Chase has eased in here on the points.
Oh, really?
Yeah, everybody's looking at Gabriel and Leslie, and that's another thing I need to talk about too. Gabriel went out. He was one of the first pairs going out in A-Gas, and he got loose. The car was up on 2, maybe even 1 wheel at one time.
Really?
Yeah, it was a little scary down that way, and so he got taken out. So that opened the door for Leslie,
Mm-hmm.
and then. I'm sure everybody's seen some of the pictures or some of the videos and stuff of some of Leslie's passes, and he never made a good pass all weekend, I don't think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but he found some issues with the car after they got back home.
Okay.
But
because the main video I saw was him and Greg in the Joker car.
Yeah.
That's the one. That one was pretty hairy. If you guys haven't seen that, you can go over to the Chick Magnet, Sega Chick Magnet page. He's got a really cool in-car shot of that pass, and they're both coming to the center line.
Yeah.
It was a little close.
Yeah, they outbent.
Yeah, they just about did. Yeah.
But then so that opened the door for Leslie. Well, Leslie goes up and he goes out the first round.
Okay.
And so it's back to tied points, but Gabriel's actually the leader because he got there first.
Okay, so that's how you break a tie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same way going into Shadyside, you know.
Yeah.
Gabriel got there first, so he's actually leading going in, you know. So, but Chase Howard is eased in. He's only 15 back now.
Really? Wow.
So if
So they're
Leslie
gonna have to
and
be on their
Gabe,
game.
and he gained points this time because he went all the way to the finals.
Gotcha.
He was runner up,
Yeah.
so he gained some points on him this weekend.
for sure.
So, or this past race, but you know, he could be the one sitting back there in the shadows that comes out to
Swoops in and gets
you know, and we saw that happen.
Really?
We saw that happen before, but
That's going to make for exciting Shadyside right there for that class especially.
You know, I don't know if we'd have enough rounds. If we got enough rounds, it's mathematically possible for Mitch to get in there because Mitch is 20 back.
Okay, gotcha.
You know, so they've both eased in there, you know, and caught up a little bit here the last couple of races.
Right.
So, but it could be a very interesting A-gas,
For sure.
at Shadyside. And Shadyside, you don't want to miss Shadyside. You know, we got 80-plus cars already on the list.
Certainly, I feel like I've seen more talk about this on social media about Shadyside than maybe any of the other races.
Mm-hmm.
It has the potential to be pretty massive, I think.
It does. Shadyside's always a good show. The Buff Boys do a great job on the track there. They've always got a great track for us, and always a good crowd there. They're good eating there. They got those fried bologna sandwiches.
Right. Yeah. It's hard to beat a fried bologna sandwich.
Yeah. But then they always have a little car show, you know, down there and everything.
Okay.
So it's a good show, and it's actually one of our bigger events every time we go. You know, I mean, and they hold the record for the most attendance.
Okay, so Shadyside does have that. Okay.
Yeah. And but it's always good, you know. It's close to everybody around here, you know. I mean, it's an hour and 15 minutes from Weaverville.
Right.
So,
right.
you know, I mean, we you know, pack them in there, and usually, you know, if nothing happens, you know, we start this one a little earlier because of the daylight hours.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
We start this one at 12.
Okay.
So we've been starting at 1. So we'll start this one at 12. You know, there's a possibility with 80 cars we could still be done by 8:30.
Right.
You
right.
know, 7:30.
Yeah.
You know, so with everything goes good, no, and we don't really have a whole lot of oil down problems. You know, everybody has to wear a diaper.
Right.
You know, and so that tends to help a lot of things.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I mean, and everybody's pretty good about making sure they're running good stuff. So you don't see a whole lot of breakages and everything there.
Yeah, that's
good.
But
looking forward to seeing everybody there. Grab your neighbors, grab your kids, and come see us.
Yeah, definitely come on down. Randy was asking me beforehand if we were going to be there. It's still a little up in the air. I honestly didn't realize it was next weekend. I had forgotten it was already time for it. That's what happens when you're 3 weeks late on the podcast. But we might be there. We might be doing a little filming. I just haven't fully decided. I haven't fully thought about it yet, to be honest. So, but hopefully we'll be able to make it down there. I know that a couple of my buddies are really interested, even if we just go watch.
Yeah.
They're wanting to go.
If you get down there on Friday evening, it's a little more laid back on doing interviews and stuff.
Right.
If you can get there on Friday evening and stuff, it's pretty good. A lot of people don't even run on Friday night. You know, most I'd say 85% of them do, but we've got a few that they just don't go out there, and they, you know, especially if they're in the points, they might not want to go out there and break something. But then you got somebody that wants to go out there and make sure everything's good too. You know? So,
right, for sure.
I will say this: in the past 3 weeks, I've seen more testing than I've ever seen.
Really?
There's been people testing every Sunday at Shadyside. There's people been testing every Thursday at Shadyside.
So you guys don't have any sort of restrictions on testing. You can go to the track that you're going to race at. Anything like okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And
I was curious. I know of some series that say like you can't be at the track within 2 weeks or whatever it is. I don't know. So I didn't know if you guys had a similar restriction
we don't
or
have
anything
like that. There was people rented the track yesterday.
Okay.
they rented the track down there yesterday, and there was several down there yesterday. I did hear rumor of a couple of engines being blown down there yesterday.
Oh, gosh.
So I guess people scrambling to see what they can do on that. But like I say, that's just rumor. I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
You know, but.
And I don't know how much detail you know about it. I saw that there's going to be a really young guy going to be racing down at Shadyside. Do you know much about that?
That is Quane's nephew.
Okay.
That is Quane's younger brother Chris's son.
Okay.
He's got a big resume on of motocross.
Motocross. Yeah, I saw some pictures of that. Yeah.
And he's only 15 years old.
15. Yeah.
15, but he's won a lot of stuff in motocross racing. I think he said he was riding when he was 4.
Gosh.
It's
crazy.
I'd have to go back and look, but racing when he was 6 or 7 or something
Wow.
like that. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how he did yesterday. They did have him down there doing some testing yesterday,
Gotcha.
but he had never been in a car before.
Really?
Never been in a car before, you know. So there's a lot to.
There's a learning curve.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot.
Just the getting situated in the car and all that stuff.
Yeah,
that takes some time.
It's just it's not just like doing a burnout. It's not
Right.
as easy as you think.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
So there's a lot to it and stuff. But I'm sure he's got some good coaches and stuff. I think Mitch was down there with him yesterday, from what I
Gotcha.
understand. So, Mitch, I kind of feel like Mitch would be a really good coach.
Yeah.
And then Chris has raced some too, his dad.
Okay.
He actually made some hits in Quane's Anglia when
Okay.
we were in Knoxville.
Gotcha.
So, he's got some knowledge, and I'm sure he can help him and everything. Briley, I think's his name.
Riley. Yep, that's
Riley.
right. I did see that.
Riley.
Yep.
Riley.
And what is he going to be? What car is he going to be in? Because I know that
Well,
Tom
it's
and them were kind of thrashing to get this thing ready for him.
It is a Rambler American.
Okay.
It's actually a car that ran with the series years ago
Okay.
and had been setting for quite some time. I don't know how it all came about, but I think maybe Leslie ended up with the car, and then Quane bought it from him, or
Okay.
something of that nature.
Gotcha.
But it's a known car.
Right.
Some people know about the car, but it's got because of the cubic inch, they had to put it in B gas, the engine that
Okay.
they put in there for it to equal out. It's got a little bigger small block in it.
Gotcha.
It had to. I think it said it had to add 400 or 500 pounds to it to put it in C gas.
Oh, okay.
So he's starting out in
He's
in
kind
one of the
jumped
toughest
in the
class.
deep end a little bit
Yeah.
there. That'll be interesting to see how he does there.
Quane called me one day, and he'd been out on the road making some hits in it, and he said it surprised him. He said the car felt pretty good.
Yeah. Well, good. Good.
So we'll see how he does. Just like I say, it's a learning curve.
For sure.
But then you've got people that jump in them and take right off.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember a few years back, Todd Blackwell, I think, and I think he may have won his first race.
Really?
When he got in a car, I think.
That's a feat.
Yeah, I may be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it was Todd Blackwell that did that. But yeah, we're going to have a lot of people there that hasn't been making the long treks like the Blackwells. Todd and his dad Mike, they'll be at Shadyside, and Michael Walters and Papa's Wild Willies, he'll be there. Mike Black will be there in Thunderstruck. That's a really sweet 55 T-Bird.
Yeah.
And then Todd will be there in Slingshot, and that's the little Nova. But and then we've got several cars still being built.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's several cars still being built.
So next season's looking pretty good.
It is.
Have you guys announced? When will a schedule announcement come out for that?
Well,
roughly?
there's a lot of work going on the schedule right
Okay.
now. Quane, Rocky, and myself, we've been going back and forth on some different things. Rocky's pretty much heading it up at this point right now. He was sending me some stuff a couple of nights ago, and we were looking at it. But it's looking like might be, Knoxville's a given,
Mm-hmm.
Shadyside's a given.
Right.
We're going back to Ohio. Mississippi's we're already there on Mississippi. South Carolina Motorplex. Be going there. But there's a couple that's up in the air.
Gotcha.
London, Kentucky. We'll be going back to London,
Okay.
Kentucky, up at Craig Boone's facility. Always a good time going there. But yeah, two Knoxvilles, two Shady Sides. And there's a couple out there I don't really want to say anything about that we're looking
Yeah, I
at
put you on the
right
spot
now.
a little
Yeah,
bit on
yeah.
that for sure.
But,
I was just
well,
curious
no
about
big deal.
a timing on when people
Yeah.
could kind of expect to see it
Yeah.
roughly, you know.
Yeah.
So, but that's good. I'm
Yeah.
glad to.
We try to get it out as early as we can because the
course.
tracks need to know too. You know,
Course.
I mean, we
So
got
they
to
can
work
promote
with them
and all that stuff,
get,
yeah.
They can get their schedule out. We can get our schedule out. And
Right,
everything.
right.
But the banquet's in January, and it's always out by then.
Okay.
You know, and but it'll be out way before then, I'm sure. There was just maybe 3 or 4 that was undecided.
Gotcha.
You know, when in speaking with Rocky, so Rocky is another one of the unsung heroes in this deal. Rocky does a lot. Yeah, Rocky does a lot. He takes care of a lot for us.
Well,
But,
good.
I guess we've about covered
Covered it.
Just,
Well, good. This is a little shorter this week, but that's okay. That's not a big deal. I'm sure everybody's going to be happy to be back and that we're back doing this. So
Well,
I know
good
you
deal.
had some people that were asking about it. So I'll get this thing out as soon as I can. I'm going to do my best to have it out in the morning. So we'll get that out.
One more thing.
Yeah, please.
Arthur Whiteside in Texas come up to me and was telling me Whiteside race cars. I want to do a shout out to Arthur. It's really good to see you in Mississippi, Arthur.
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good. Well, all right. Well, we'll wrap it up, guys. We appreciate you so much for joining us and listening and viewing this and all that good stuff. And for everybody, if you found Shift Points because of the Southeast Gassers, man, we appreciate you, and we
Yes.
hope that you're here to stay and check out some of our other stuff that we've got going on here on the channel. We do a lot. That's not a pat on the back. I'm not saying it like that, but me and Dad have worked really hard, and Randy has helped us now with this to try and grow this channel and be a channel that's just all about anything that you want to know about drag racing, circle track racing, car building, whatever it is. And like I said, we're kind of in the process of working through a few little projects here, and then we're hoping to be going drag racing ourselves here pretty soon.
Good deal.
That's going to happen. It's like I said, we've got a couple little deals, a few weeks of work here that we've got coming up, and then we're going to be getting Dad's 55 Chevy back out there and back to the drag strip. So that will be, I'm hoping that's going to be some good stuff and be exciting. And
I'm looking forward to that myself.
we're both really excited about it. I think we've both kind of got it now that this channel has helped us so much do that, to kind of really prioritize and kind of figure out what we need to do, and that's been really helpful for us, and I'm glad that people are enjoying it. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. That's the number one way that you can help us out in the long run, and come back and watch these videos each time that we put them up. That helps out a ton too. So, and check us out on social media. We're putting up stuff basically every day, trying to keep everybody kind of engaged in what we're doing, because like I said, there is a lot going on, and it's a little bit more real time, so you can kind of check that out. So hopefully my work schedule calms down a little, and my evenings will open back up to where I can do some be a little bit more engaged on everything. And yeah, so we'll see you guys next week whenever we get done with Shady Side. So make sure to be back here and check out and see how all the championships wrapped up and how all the classes wrapped up on the Shady Side race recap. So we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.